become my own person.
Yeah, that's a scene from the movie Foxcather, which comes out on DVD today. It is based on the true story of brothers Mark and David Schultz, both of them Olympic wrestlers, gold medalists in the 1984 LA Games. But that story changed after multimillionaire John DuPont shot and killed David while he was training for the 1988 Games. We are honored to be joined this morning by David's widow, Nancy Schultz, live here on Fox. Nancy, good morning, and thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Nancy, we do have a little bit of a delay, but I'd like you just to kind of maybe fill our viewers in on this story if they haven't seen the movie, if they're planning on buying the DVD today. Take us back to the late 1980s when all this happened and sort of describe where the movie picks up.
Well, the film is very much focused on Mark Schultz, my brother-in-law, and his challenge with living and working with John DuPont at the Foxcather estate. You know, wrestling is not very well sponsored or supported. It's a tough sport to find financial backing in. And so when John DuPont came to the wrestling community, and including Mark, and said, I want to build a training facility here, it was really welcomed with open arms.
Right.
But as the viewers know, John had a very dark side. He had mental health concerns. He was also a long-term alcoholic and a drug addict. So the scenes at Foxcather became very odd, unusual, and in the end, unfortunately, it led to the murder of Dave, my husband.
Yeah. Can you describe, Nancy, what was it like to kind of relive this story? And how true was the movie to real life? We know that Sienna Miller plays your character in the movie. How did she do?
She does a great job, and interesting, today is the day that the Foxcather film will be released on Blu-ray and DVD and digital formats. And one of the things that it will do is take you behind the scenes. There's a nice vignette about the story of Foxcather and the making of the film. It's got some deleted scenes. And one of the things you do is see how much work went into creating this real-life situation on a film.
Yeah.
And I can't thank Bennett Miller and the cast and characters enough, for really taking this so seriously. And Mark Ruffalo becomes Dave Schultz, and you see that arrogant, uncomfortable person that Steve Carell, portrays as the John DuPont figure. They did an amazing job, and it's completely an accurate film.
Yeah. Now I know that Ruffalo seems like he was perfectly cast for this role. He and Channing Tatum trained for over a year to learn how to wrestle, but now that John DuPont has died, he passed away in prison at the age of 72. Taking a look back at all this, why do you think he actually did this and killed your husband?
I really don't think there's an exact reason. We do have an up-and-coming documentary, which I will be spreading the news about in another month or so. But I really think that in the mind of a madman, there really is an exact reason. I think John DuPont had been driven to madness by cocaine abuse.
Right.
And to search for a reason inside there is a little rough. But I think it was just the paranoia that was driven by the cocaine abuse, actually.
Nancy, I appreciate your candor here. Final question. I'm just wondering if you could kind of describe in a little bit more detail the dynamic between John, basically the control freak there, your husband, and Mark Schultz. What was that like?
It was difficult a lot. The training center there was actually a sports utopia. There were 5 Olympic sports training there with everybody pulling together, but John was very difficult. He was very controlling, and in some ways he wanted to, he always aspired to be an athlete himself. And so he wanted to be the coach and the driving force behind the program. In actuality, he wasn't a great athlete, nor could he coach the sport of wrestling. So there was always this pull and tug between his control financially and his control in actually the athletic facilities.
Nancy, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you this morning. I think that Steve Carell did a wonderful job portraying a despicable human being. I wish you all the best moving forward. The movie Foxcather was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. It comes out on DVD today. That is Nancy Schultz, the wife of the late David Schultz. Nancy, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.